Granddam!
Hello, and welcome to the third episode of Siivalyzation, the show where we break down popular Siivagunner rips to see how they tick. This episode digs deep into Siiva history, reaching back to one of the first uploads. Today, we will cover the rip Unused Song 2 for Flintstones SNES. Uploaded on April 12, 2016, this rip was the 14th oldest still viewable rip on the channel. It is the third franchise directly titled in a rip, behind Super Smash Bros. And Metal Gear. To give some context, this video was released during a long collection of rips about the Metal Gear franchise called The Phantom Rips, Siiva Has Come To. This was the third album released to the YouTube channel as a playlist on April 2016, with 28 songs themed from Hideo Kojima's famous franchise. On a side note, Hideo left the video game development company Konami in October of 2015 after the release of acclaimed Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, which the rip we are covering today references. After Kojima's parting, the Metal Gear franchise is on more unstable ground, with the 2018 release of Metal Gear Survive receiving mixed reviews. The future of the series isn't really looking too well. Back to the rip at hand, Siiva chose to use the Flintstones SNES game for the cover of the rip, in order to incorporate the unused song number 2. The base song was an actual piece included in the game, which was buried deep in the files and not used in any of the game's levels. The early video game composer Dean Evans quoted on his YouTube version of the track that this track was never actually written for anything in particular until I was asked if I had any unused tracks I'd written that could be added to The Flintstones. There were 4 tracks I had contributed, those being Password Screen, Cinema, Staff Roll, and this. He goes on to state that the devs of the Flintstones game just needed to fill spare ROM space on the cartridge with songs to listen to, and that he never intended for the song to be heard while playing the game. Focusing on the song itself, I'll play a sample of the track for you. In my opinion, the slower song gives off more of a moody, atmospheric tone that sort of sounds like melancholy or serenity. If this song were to be used in a game, it would probably be said for like an underwater level or even one in space, so maybe Evans was right when he said it wouldn't be a best fit for the Flintstones game. It almost makes you feel lonely or isolated from the world when listening to it, and I would listen to this unironically if I wanted to. Now, the song here is combined in the rip with the theme song from Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. This song is called Nuclear and was included with the game in 2015. Here's a sample.
Standing on the edge of the crater, like the prophets once said, and the ashes are all cold now. No more bullets, and the embers are dead.
The song seems to reference the aftermath of a nuclear war or fallout. No, Todd Howard, I see you there. Back off. You're on probation after what you did to 76. Just let people get a refund, please. Honestly, this is probably the worst launch of a Bethesda game I've seen. Get your shit together, Todd. Sorry for that tangent, folks. I kinda got out of hand. Anyway, Nuclear was written by Mike Oldfield and performed by Luke Spiller for the album Man on the Rocks. It has a single vocal track, alongside the acoustic guitar, and invokes a feeling of nostalgia for the past as well as regret. The rip, unofficially known as UnNuclear, begins like this.
Standing on the edge of the crater, like the prophets once said, and the ashes are all cold now. No more bullets,
me say right off the bat that this is an amazing song combination. The isolation and loneliness imparted by the Flintstones track combines excellently with the melancholy and regretful nature of the lyrics to Nuclear. Both songs are mixed well technically as well as thematically. I noticed that the guitar part from Nuclear is removed in order to retain the simplistic and lonely nature of the two songs, which I don't mind because the Flintstones track greatly makes up for it. Also notice how the melody of Unused Song 2 bounces around in contrast with the lyrics here.
Desolation, devastation. What a mess we made when it all went wrong.
This helps to keep the song interesting and contrasts the two tracks. As the rip continues, we get to the bridge section, where the vocals are replaced with an electric guitar solo. While the song in MGSV had a similar solo, this one is unique in being more chiptuned to suit the Flintstones piece, and I have no clue who performs it. Either way, it also provides some contrast to the more subtle flow of the song. The final chorus is nothing special compared to last episode, but fades off slowly to close out the rip. There isn't much else to say about this rip other than the fact that I really enjoy it. It's a nice break from the more upbeat and fast-paced rips of the Siiva channel, and I even have this one on my playlist as well. If you haven't already, go ahead and give it a listen. I'll put a link to it in the description so you can check it out later. Anyway, you all have a happy holiday, and I'll see you on the next episode of Siivalyzation.